Today is 24th of October 2017, and I'm by names of Roxanne and I am a student in the Bachelor's of Arts program with College for America at Southern New Hampshire. I am conducting this interview as part of my academic work, so with your consent, I would like to, if I get your permission, to use this information in my deliverable.
Thank you. I'm also called Melissa Omotani, and I give my informed consent to participate in this interview, to be recorded and used as part of the your student academic work.
Thank you very much, Melissa. So I will ask you a few questions. So my first question is, do you know what are the three branches of the government?
I know I know the legislative and judiciary. Yeah, I know two of them, but I don't know the third one.
Okay. Do you know what each branch does? The two that you know.
I don't know much about it, but I have an idea that they all set laws for the country. Yeah, and they also set laws for the country.
Yeah, thank you. So another question I have: Democrats and Republicans are major parties in our country. Do you know? Can you name a third party?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Sorry. And my last question will be: what is the basic process which a bill becomes a law?
A bill becomes a law. I think the bill are fixed by the senators and all the three branches, and then they discuss them, and then later they send it to the president to be signed, and that's when it becomes a law.
Thank you very much. My name's today is 24th October 2017, and by names of Roxanne. I am a student in the College of America's program, Bachelor of Arts program at Southern New Hampshire, and I'm conducting this interview that will help me in the project that I'm doing called Government and You. So I would like to know if I have your consent to work.
Yeah, I then now give my informed consent to participate in this interview and to be recorded and used as a part of the student's academic work.
Okay, thank you. So I'll ask you four questions. The first question is, what are the three branches of the government?
The branch is judicial, executive, and legislative.
Okay, thank you very much. And do you know what each branch does?
I don't know.
All right. So my next question would be: there is Democrat and Republican. Do you know? Can you name a third party?
I don't recall.
All right. So my last question would be: what is the basic process by which a bill becomes a law?
I don't know.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Good morning. My names are Roxanne and I'm a student at in the program of College of America at Southern New Hampshire, and I'm getting my bachelor's degree in healthcare management with a concentration in global perspectives. So I'm going to talk about, I'm going to work on the project Government and You. I carried out an interview recently with two people, asking them about four questions. I'm going to elaborate more on those questions, and yeah. So the first question is, what are the three branches of the government? The three branches are the legislative branch, the executive branch, and the judicial branch. The legislative branch, which is also called the Congress, is the branch which has power to pass. It is in power to pass or to make laws. It is made up by the House of Representatives, the Senate. So what they do, they make laws, they write them, they discuss on them, and they get to vote on them in the Congress. But and also one thing is that Americans are the ones to elect their senators and their representatives. And the second branch, which is also called the presidency, is called the executive branch. This is the branch in charge of carrying out and coordinating decisions, different decisions that are made by the Congress. The power of as you can understand, executives comes with execution. It means the power of of the executing a certain decision is only made by the presidency of the United States. And we have the third branch, which is the judicial branch. This is the branch in charge of protecting citizens' rights. Um, this is the one that improves or shows the democracy of the country in the United States, since it helps all citizens get justice. So, as I have stated, now you understand that the legislative branch is made to write laws, discuss them, and vote for them on in Congress. The executive branch, which is also called the presidency, is the power, like the power of execution is in the hands of the president to make a certain decision. And also the judicial branch, this one is which is in charge of protecting citizens' rights, is also it helps citizens get justice. Those are their roles. So all these three branches of the government are connected in some way, and they they are connected in a. You might ask yourself how these three branches connect to each other. So they connect to each other in a way that the legislative branch uh, is made to by the Congress, and it passes the laws. So it passes the laws to the executive branch, which is the presidency, in order to make recommendations and make sure the policy is set, which also is led to the judicial branch, where the judges make wise decisions in order to make sure that the law that has been passed is in favor of the citizens and of the country. Yeah, that's how they complete each other. Another questions that you might ask yourself is, how do these three systems regulate each other? So there is this system called the checks and balance. According to Sandbox Networks, the system of the checks and balance shows how no none of the branch can overlay on another one. So all of these checks and balance make sure that all the uh, branches of the government support each other in one way or another. We can take an example of how a bill is voted for or is made a law. So when in the legislative branch, the bill is introduced and voted for, then it is translated to the executive branch, where the president uh, where it agrees on it, executes it. If he signs the bill, then it becomes a law. But then sometimes if he doesn't sign the bill, it becomes a veto. And then once the law is in place, the people of the country test it throughout the court system. It means it's through the judicial branch people get to test the bill that was voted for by the president, and then it agrees where it favors them in one way or another. So when the legislative branch does not agree with what the judiciary branch has interpreted, how it has interpreted the law, then the process starts over and over again. This is to make sure that they regulate each other in one way or another. It's to make sure that all branches are complete each other in one way or another. So the next question is, Democrats and Republicans are the major parties. Can you name a third party? So according to some people, you've seen that they've said they don't know any third party or the Federalists, but I'm going to explain it more. So according to Boundless, a two-party, there is America is mainly a two-party system. Since there are two parties that rule the whole of America, those are Democrats and Republicans. So at first, like in the 1829, there was the two party, which was Federalist Party and the Democratic Party, anti-federalist, and then they split into Democrats, according to Jacksonian Democrats, who grew into the modern Democratic Party, and also it was led by Henry Clay. But also, the second party was split, since some grew to be Democratic Party, led by Andrew Jackson, and also Republican Party, led by Henry Clay. That's how two parties were founded in America. But then the third party is any party that supports a candidate for election but is not included in the two parties that were listed before. So any party that is not the Democratic and the Republican becomes a third party. And the last question is, what is the basic process by which a bill becomes a law? So some both people are interviewed didn't know how it becomes this, but one tried to talk about it. So in brief, the bill is introduced or at one chamber of the Congress, in the Congress members, and the bill is assigned to a standing committee. When it's assigned to a standing committee, the standing committee reports the bill back to the floor, and then the bill is placed on the Congress calendar, since they schedule debates according to the time given. The chamber considers the bill when when they are debating on it. Then they vote upon the bill. So when the vote is held, the act is sent to another chamber. The conference committee meets and finds differences in the versions of legislation. The legislation then sends the bill voted for to the president in order to get his signature. When the signature of the president is when the president has signed, then the Congress might override a veto by a vote of both chambers, and then it becomes a law. Thank you.